I'm Otis Smith, host and owner of Interruptions Podcast. Please go to my YouTube channel to subscribe. That's Otis A. Smith. The number 3 is my YouTube channel. And please subscribe and leave your comments. And also shoot me a comment. Let me know who you'd like for me to interview, and I'll see if I can get a hold of them and make that request a reality. Coming up next is a R&B group, H-TOWN, that we're going to sit and talk to. As you all know, if you've been fans of the H-TOWN brand and group, you know that the lead singer, Dino, died some time back. So we're going to sit and talk to the other 2 members. So please, once again, go to my YouTube channel. That's Otis A. Smith, the number 3, and please subscribe. Coming up next, H-Town. Welcome to another edition of Interruptions. I'm your host, Otis Smith. Today, I got a classic group from back in the day. They still relevant today. I got G.I., I got Shazam, and of course, we are missing our brother Dino, but he's still here. The group, the founder, they brought you songs like Knocking the Boots. They like it slow, emotions, and a thin line between love and hate that they remade. No other but the brilliant fellas, H-Town. How you guys doing?
What's up? What's up? In the house, we feeling great right now, man. Just happy to be here.
Man, I appreciate you guys coming on, man. We don't take it lightly. We know y'all could have been doing any other thing, man. So thank you for blessing us with your presence, man. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
Most definitely.
My first question for you guys, what made you guys choose music as a career?
Well, for me, I've always from a young age was into music. Anything music, whether it was DJing, rapping. Then I started singing. I was in a marching band. So I was always doing something that was musical. So it just stuck with me. I just went for it.
Yeah, the same thing with us.
Yeah.
We come from a musical background. My uncles
Mm-hmm.
and was in the bands and grandfather, grandmother. Grandfather was a dancer. Grandmother was a singer. My dad was a partially a singer too. So it's like we just have always been around music and somewhere in our family, the roots. Everybody, a lot of musicians and singers in my family. So it's like, hey, we just say, man, that's what we want to do. It's basically just always in us to do music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was always curious of that when a group comes together, like what was it, about, music that made people, choose it as a career? Because I'm sure you guys know some people who can really sing, but just never chose it as a career.
Mhm.
Right.
What is the H-Town sound? Can you
Well,
quantify it?
well, the H-Town sound, man, is more of a but we have the harp with the thick tones with the harmonies and what I'm saying, that southern with that southern twang, what I'm saying? We got the sounds where sometimes we'll say, instead of saying come on, we may say shum on. You know what I'm saying? So with a lot of the heavy bass lines, we never really was a group that did a lot of ballads, but
Uh-oh. He'll be back. We'll get him. We'll get him back in. We'll get him back in.
It's his ears, I guess. But yeah, but most definitely, man. We're just some country boys, man, from Texas. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, I'm from Georgia. So
You're
hey.
in Georgia? Yeah.
I don't know if my head. I don't. In
There
my
you go.
head hitting something. I don't know
Yeah,
what. Huh?
you can't touch those earpods. Yeah, once you put
Oh,
them in.
that's probably what it is. When you touch the AirPod, it's clicking you out.
Yeah, that's what it's doing.
Oh, yeah, out again. I let him look. I let him in, and he must have
So you got
touched
a
the
lot.
AirPod.
You got a lot of editing to do.
Nah, hey man, I roll
Yeah.
it authentic, man. Like I said, here he come.
Okay.
He coming back. I roll
Yeah.
it. The reason I like it
That.
authentic
Yeah.
is because
I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that.
just hit your video. I mean, because we can't see you. We can hear you, we just can't see you yet.
Okay, yeah. I
There you
don't know
go.
why it's doing that.
GI was
Yeah.
saying you can't touch them earpods because it'll click you out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Go with that. We got pick up we left off.
Well, GI was saying
Yeah.
y'all just some country boys, but you were gonna elaborate. You were saying the question was what's the H-Town sound, and you were saying that country, deep melodic, sound with the bass, overtones as far as in the music.
Yeah, yeah, with the with the harmonies on top of the a lot of if everybody listen like our songs like They Like It Slow, um, even in Mo, we have those heavy bass lines in our songs. You know what I'm saying? A lot of bass lines. Some of our songs, we brought back the 808s, like in Knocking the Boots Lick You Up, got those 808s in it. So we had like kind of like a heavy, and we would lose like a lot of melodic and sexy sounds. Like in Day Like Slow, it's a do 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 do. We always put distinctive sounds in our music. Even Knocking the Boots, we
Yeah.
had the guitar. Ew. The ding, ding,
Gotcha.
ding. So we built our sound. We're putting like we always try to put a sound in our song that stands out, and then with the heavy tones, with the
Hmm.
country twang, with the harmonies, that's kind of like the H-Town song. Like in emotions, everybody know emotions. That organ start off. We have that organ that
Yeah.
starts off in
Yeah.
emotions. Yeah, so that's if you know a lot of our songs, we always try to create an actual sound in the music to stand out along with everything else that we do. You
And
know.
that's what GI and I was saying before you came on was one of the things I miss. Like I said, I do like some groups today,
Yeah. Yeah.
but the reason a lot of stuff I listen to is back in the day because it was the originality. It was
Right.
you weren't trying to sound like anybody, whether it was from
Hmm.
your singing, your runs, riffs, your production. You
Right.
were making sure that okay, this is a H-Town sound, right?
Hmm.
Versus today they try to make them sound like whoever had the
Yeah.
latest hit.
Mimicking it. Yeah. Mimicking it the previous
Yeah,
artists.
yeah,
And you guys took because what's so funny is like, Keith Sweat used the 808, but when you guys used the 808, it wasn't like it was mimicking Sweat because
Right.
your message, the way you guys delivered your message was different than the way he delivered his message.
yeah,
And so
Yeah.
it's still, it was, H Town. And so
Right.
that's what I like about, back in the day, the romance of the music as well. You know,
yes,
I was
yes,
telling
yes,
GI, I said, man, I'm glad my daughter wasn't born when y'all was out, man. I'm glad I was born, but they weren't born.
yeah,
They might have been born. They might have been created off H Town. I might have to go back and
yeah.
ask my wife what were we playing.
Yeah.
Most definitely, yeah,
But but the difference. That's a good thing too, because in reality, what's so crazy about it is
Hmm.
our music renews itself to the next generation
Yeah,
every year. You know what I'm saying? So I guess because it's timeless. So we made timeless music. That stand the test of time, and it still sound like it's fresh today.
it does. It
hmm
does, man. I emotions was. I mean, that was my joint. I mean, that was just because
Yeah.
I think you know what how with rappers they always want to say bars or this guy's lyrical or this. I'm
hmm
like, man, if y'all listen to some of these R&B artists, these guys are lyrical. Y'all not really paying
yeah,
attention. I had a conversation. Before I ask my next question, I had a
Hmm.
conversation with Timothy Gatlin, and
Okay.
he wrote "You Can Have a Piece of My Love" for Guy,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
hmm
I said,
Wasn't he?
women,
He was a member first, huh?
yeah, he was a member first, right? And I said,
Yeah.
what's crazy is women love that song, but I'm like, are y'all really listening to the lyrics?
yeah,
Because if y'all really listen, I say that's some like player pimp. But once again, that era, just like you guys, that era,
yeah,
you
Yeah.
deliver it, you romanced it to they wasn't even paying attention.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean,
And
we
a
but
lot
we
of
did it
things
in a
like,
respectful way.
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. What'd you say?
I said we did it in a respectful way though, so we never like was out of bounds like F you this or
Nah.
this, that, and third. We did it like in a respectful, sexual, romantic way, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because you could be in the car, and even you guys probably did it. Whoever you guys were listening to, where you could be in the car with your boys, y'all could be riding together, listening to some hip hop. But if you knew you was gonna go pick a young lady up, yeah, you had to switch music. You're like, hold on, let me
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
let me put
yes.
something else on.
Yeah, most definitely.
How did you guys choose, or how was it brought about choosing Dino as the lead person at the time?
Well,
Go ahead.
that was just basically a decision of our producer stick. I kind of started out doing the leads, but at the time the sound started to change a little bit, with the Aaron Halls and the guys
Mm-hmm.
and the Johnny Gills.
Mm-hmm.
And Dino kind of was studying more, going leaning towards that tone, and I still was studying like you know, like bringing like the baby faces, the Michael Jacksons, because we know these was all our mentors that we looked up to.
Sure.
So at that time, we did the first album kind of based a little bit around my sound, but then we took it and put the sound more around Dino on this one, and we kind of just all blended everything together to come with from H-Town hitting high notes, from GI putting the smooth
Yeah,
harmonies to we just kind of like taking verses and parts like on Knocking the Boots, all three members got a major parts in those songs.
Correct.
So
Correct.
so it was more of a decision of our producer that was producing us to kind of grow our sound with the time. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So that's what we just followed the lead and it worked.
Gi, now this is a sidebar question. I just got to ask this, man. I just got to ask. Man, how many dudes how many dudes got mad at you, man? Cause see, with Shazam and Dino singing, you be, I mean, Shazam was back there with you too, but you be back there
Yeah.
doing your thing, and I know you had to have some females like that. Dude, how you need an extra security, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, most definitely we all did. Though. We all did at that time.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? I think like even like a lot of times, even if I have guys be mad at me because that girl listens to our music all the time. I can't stand H-Town. That's all she plays H-Town. I can't stand them. I hate them. And just, when you follow me, man, I used to
Mhm.
hate y'all, man. I used to hate y'all. That's how my girl played with H-Town. I used to hate y'all for that. But yeah,
Mhm.
even when we go out sometimes
Uh huh.
and the girls start gravitating towards us, the guys get mad. You know what I'm saying? They want to.
I don't
Yeah.
know what they
Yeah.
get mad for.
Yeah.
That just tell you who you dealing with. That's all that
Yeah.
is.
Mhm.
That just tell I man, listen, I've yet to meet a R&B group that I was mad at. I was more like, hey man, appreciate you singing for 6-7 minutes on the record.
Burning them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I ain't have to say nothing. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Mhm.
You guys, you mentioned some of the people you influenced, but I also took that you guys were also in that Marvin Gaye sexual healing
Yeah, yeah.
type
Marvin Gaye most
type
definitely.
style to where
Mhm.
once again it was sexual, but it was in a romantic way.
Romance, wait, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So okay, I will make sure I was spot on that. I would make sure I wasn't, you know, too far off. With the people you guys mentioned that you were listening to, like you said, Babyface, Michael Jackson, Guy, and all those. When what did you take away from them that made it where they were influencing you guys? What was it
Well,
about those
some of
groups?
sometimes the influence of it will come doing the opposite. Like New Edition was more of a choreography where they dance,
Mm-hmm.
choreograph.
Mm-hmm.
H-Town said, we're gonna do the opposite of New Edition. We're gonna dance more with the pelvic thrust. We had a dance style, not only a dance style like our sing style, we also had a dance. Sometimes the influence would come to where Eric, we see New Edition doing this, let's do this. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? or like we would listen to Can You Stand the Rain. Dino had more of the Johnny Gill tone. I had more of the Ralph tone.
Mm-hmm.
So Johnny Gill was talking, New Edition was talking about more like Can You Stand the Rain with Magic. So we trying to say now we're gonna take that same kind of concept. We're gonna say, we're gonna say something, real freaky with it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I always tell people they don't really know this, but if you listen to Can You Stand the Rain, it's you can't really tell you, it will never cross your mind, but if you listen to the way we come in singing, Johnny Gill come in with that thick, heavy tone. Dino came in with that thick, heavy tone. And then Ralph was bagging, Ralph came in,
Right.
that's how Lick You Up was from that. I would come in with the, kind of something, but we was talking, we switched our lyrics to talk about something a little bit more, like you said, a
Gotcha.
little bit more sexual,
Flexible.
and then, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like our influence will always be, we take something, but we would also say, how do we make it different? We
How
see
do you make
dancing.
it H-Town? Right. How you
How
make
do
it
you make it
H-Town?
H-Town? We don't want to
Gotcha.
dance the way New Edition dance. We want to dance like this, or we want to make records like this. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of how we uh, and I even created my high notes off of listening to the Temptations, because there was no group busting high notes on records since the Temptations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like
like
actually
Eddie
hitting high
Kendricks.
falsetto
Yeah.
notes. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
was like, so the influence came like that, listening to Prince, and so we just kind of did it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, because I was watching. I think y'all was it Soul Train? I forget exactly what I was looking at earlier today. You guys were on, and you was getting ready to hit that high note. Like y'all was singing Emotions, and
Yeah,
you
Okay.
was getting ready to hit the high note. Dino walked over, and it was like he about to give it to y'all. He had his hand on your shoulder, and boom, you hit the high
hmm
note. So yeah, I see exactly what you're talking about when you use that example of Can You Stand the
yeah,
Rain with Ralph and Johnny. You guys just flipped it to where it would be an
yeah,
H-Town sound. And you're
yes.
right, you couldn't, without you telling someone that, they won't know.
They wouldn't know that. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
wouldn't know that. They
That's
would not know that, but that's kind of what we H-Town has always been guys to be different. Everybody used somebody. Even Michael Jackson was influenced by James Brown.
correct.
Prince, now it was James Brown. So that's not the case. But we always search to make things our own. Now when we did Thin Line, we remade the song, but we took it totally like we made H-Town all the way. Like, oh, that's H-Town. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we always would do
You
with our music.
you know what
You
I
know?
liked about what you guys did with that GI? I'm gonna tell you what I like
Yeah.
what y'all did about with a Thin Line. When you listen to the original version, now of course I was just a little boy then because in the '70s I was born in '71, so
Mhm.
I but hearing the original version and then when you guys remade it, I like what you guys did with it, where you're really singing it, where like it's like you guys are sitting down talking to a brother and saying, "Hey,
Mhm.
let me warn you. Look,
Right.
it's a
Yeah.
thin line. Hey, brother, hey, she can go from here
Yeah.
to here."
Yeah.
whereas,
Yeah.
whereas the original version, and it's not knocking them, it's just in the original version, it was just a song to me. It was a
Yeah.
song. Whereas you
Right.
guys made it, you kind of
We
brought it
added
home.
more. We added more of a soulful, or more of a soulful feel to it. You know what I'm saying? But that's the way H Town we create our records. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
we always try to add that soulful and everything we add, even from knocking the boots. It's just all ends of how we try to create our songs and bridges, and we just we play the part from the verse to the chorus to the bridge. We always try to come up with something different to take you and build the record. Like an emotion,
Sure.
you see how we build. We kept building on that record,
Yep.
knocking the boots. We kept building and building and building. And then we would say, okay, come in right here. GI say this, Shazam, go in right there. So we would know how to place our vocals where they fit best. Like GI's gonna lift you up. He didn't really sing a verse, but he had a ad-lib that's like he'll come in right there was real distinctive to this day. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So I lay you down just give you an example. So we would
Yeah.
just also be able
Yeah.
to teach you how we placed our vocals, not just so much where they fit the best, because it's all about sounding good. So that's what we do. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing I like about you guys too, is that you guys always been about the group, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
group. It wasn't you guys, what it seemed like you guys understood that most groups didn't understand is that when you guys come out as a group, right? Everybody's gonna have who they like, or who's their favorite, like in the group,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And you guys realize that, hey, we become one, on stage and out. So
Exactly.
there's no, oh, well, he the lead singer, he getting too much shine, or this, that, and
Mhm.
the other. It's like, no, we're a group. Of course, whoever leading the song at that particular time, of course, they're gonna get the shine. They leading the song, but you guys
Mhm.
understood and let your own personality shine within the parts that you had
Yeah,
on stage.
that's what we
Yeah.
try to do. We try to make sure whatever parts we do, we be the best at the parts that we sing. And then we all wrote. We all wrote every song you just about heard by H-Town was written by us. So that was the thing that while we would always write every song, emotions, knocking the boots, lick you up, daylight and snow. We wrote all those songs. You know what I'm saying? So
Self-contained, man. That's like
yeah,
Yeah.
that's like Jagged Edge. It's self-contained.
yeah,
When
yeah,
you self-contained, man, that's a lot of people. You know what's so funny about groups? A lot of people don't realize sometimes it's not even the guy that you think far as out front. A lot of times you got to pay attention to. Sometimes
Right.
it could be a guy that's in the background there, but you don't realize he's putting the music together or he wrote the
yeah,
song.
Yeah.
that's true.
You know,
Right.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
like so like you guys say, it all it works. It comes together. Um, Tell me about what you guys miss about the contribution that Dino had brought to the group.
Good today.
Well, just basically, man, is just not just the group, just our lives in general. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like he was my brother
yeah.
and GR, close friend.
Yeah.
But just um the thing about it is I miss, his leadership. But the
Hmm.
thing about it is a lot of his leadership had rubbed off on me. So a lot of things I do, I handle the way my brother would handle it. You know what I'm saying? To keep
Yeah.
the things. So it's like by us being, living, grew up together, I would know, okay, this is how we would do this. Or to keep it H-Town, I gotta come at this way. So that's how we were able to survive because we know, in and out, and then so it's like my mind is like Dino still is with us because it's like
Yeah.
I think the way my brother would think. And GI have always done, it's like the flavor's still there. It's like you got one of the brothers is still here that knows the way Dino would do things in and out. That's why our sound, everything we got, is just about still right there. So we missed a lot of leadership that he had brought to the group. And
Yeah.
a lot of the production skills that he brought to the group. But me and G, I've been around him so long, and we
Right.
we just know how to play our parts. That's why everything kind of still people's like, man, it's like we out on stage, Dino's still up there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, man, I
Yeah.
can feel his presence. So because we purposely, me and G, we purposely do that to keep his presence, and then we dedicate every show to my brother. So my brother's there on the stage with us every show. You know what I'm saying?
I
But mainly a
appreciate.
lot of his leadership. That's one of the biggest things we
Yeah.
miss.
And most definitely the chemistry. The
Hmm.
Yeah.
chemistry was off the charts. It's like he can start a song and we'll know exactly where to go with it and how to finish it off. And the same thing on stage. It's like a lot of
Hmm.
times we did something different on stage that was never rehearsed when we harmonized on stage, and
Hmm.
that's the kind of connection that we had when it came to harmonizing. We would just it'll just naturally just come out that way. You know what I'm saying? Not even
Mhm.
rehearsed. You know what I'm saying?
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy because when when I heard you guys were still out there singing and touring, and this was like a couple of years ago,
Yeah,
and I was like, well, hold on, how they out there doing? Sometimes people just have questions, right?
Yeah.
It's like, man, how they out there, man? Dino, So I think it was Emotions or it was Knocking the Boots. I forget where I saw it online, man. And
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh, Shazam. I mean, I know y'all brothers. He sound just like him. Oh my God. And it blew me away. Because like you said, on the songs when it was all three of y'all together, sometimes your octave level was higher, right? You could go
Mm-hmm.
like certain songs you would come in and sing. You weren't necessarily always hitting the high note, but you was in a higher key than your
Yeah, I was in the
brother.
Yeah.
higher key.
Right. So when I saw you performing, I said, "Oh man, he got right." And also when you look like the person too, because you're brothers, so that kind
Mm-hmm.
that kind of helped. But you
Well,
were still
the
you.
thing that people don't know is that
Hmm.
when we even was doing our thing, me and Dino always kind of had the same familiar tone. But
Hmm.
what I would do is lighten my voice up to give us a different sound, hitting the high notes. Gi naturally had a hum. Gi sounds like harmony. His voice, when Gi opened his mouth, it sounds like harmony by itself. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So Gi was like excellent at, like, he can open his mouth. Okay, it sounds like we got a 4-part harmony because his voice just sounds like harmony. So when the sound changed, the thick tone, Dino was more better at that. So I said, well, let me
Yeah.
go. I kind of sung behind my voice,
Hmm.
and I would hit the high notes because I was like, it doesn't pay us to do for both of us to sound identical, or you can't tell us apart because it didn't give us a different sound. So as when my brother passed, as I'm older now too, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So my tone is, like when you hear us talk, we talk identical. Like
Right.
this is our deep sound, like this. We talk basically identical. But
Right.
I just see more out. I see more out in my voice. And that's where I was able to capture more the closeness of when he sings, of his parts.
Right.
Then a
I know what
lot
you're
of
saying.
a lot of parts that we sing, those are our actual parts. Like on Knock on the Boots, my part is good. No, that's my part. GI part, man, that's our actual parts. You know what I'm saying? On Emotions, when I hit the high note, that's my actual part. Or when I come in and sing the bridge. But what I did was to captivate that tone is that I start to use more of my voice. A lot of people don't know that, but I used to literally sing behind my voice to switch it up because you can still tell us apart, but it'll be more like they sound a lot alike. You know what I'm saying? So, the high notes and the way I sung more behind my voice, it gave us a different sound. And GI voice just kind of like, okay, that's what the stuff sound like a harmony now. You know
It's,
what I'm
it's
Yeah.
funny
saying?
you
No.
it's funny you say that because I think that gets lost what you're saying because when you mention knocking the boots, like you said, people forget that GI comes in and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
sings it part, and it ain't like GI you singing it way down at the bottom. You are up there
Right. Right.
singing it, so I think it gets lost because sometimes GI we're seeing you in the back, with the steps and everything, but
Yeah.
when I went back earlier, like I said, getting ready for the interview and everything, looking at the video, I was like, hold up, wait a minute, how I missed that? like,
Yeah, yeah,
and that's
yeah.
what I was
Yeah.
saying. Sometimes people, when you have a person that's deemed the lead singer, a lot of times, and you still dancing, other parts are moving, people sometimes
Right.
miss that. And it's like, nah, I think
Mm-hmm.
GI bring more to the table than that. He was just in the background dancing. I
Yeah.
think he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had
It's,
to.
it's, it's, it's a lot going. It's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. So it's so
Yes,
much
and then
to capture.
Knock on the Boots, man, that was really the beauty, the blessing that our biggest song, all three members have lead parts, like major. Those parts are major parts of Knocking the Boots. Good Love and Body and Making Love. Those are major parts of that song.
It
Like we do
is.
that in concert, they go crazy when I come in and Gi come in. So what I
Yeah.
did was to just take think how my brother was seeing, and that's why I'm able to emulate what he would do. I'm not gonna say I can do it as good as him, but I'm able to because he was my brother, and I'm able to say, okay, just how Dino would attack the note. Like a lot of times when I sing the leads or think about Dino, I always think, how would Dino sing it? How would he use his voice?
Well,
Dino
I
had a
don't think.
voice.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought. No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Dino had a voice to where he know when to get strong and he know when to get lightning. So that's kind of how I kind of took, I'll get real strong and I'll turn around and get light, saying just like versatile, Lord, I remember my earpiece to hold on.
Don't touch it.
Earpiece to
yeah, we can hear you.
Amen.
I was going to say, it's not about, you sounding exactly like, better or whatever. It reminds me of the Force MDs. When the lead singer died, one of the brothers, when you watch their show or if you go on YouTube, he's singing when Tender Love. And I'm like, wow, man, he sounds just like old boy who used to, lead the song, right? So sometimes, like you say, when you're around a person, you perform with them, even though you're singing your part, you know their part as well. So sometimes in a situation, in both cases, when a person is no longer here, you're able to deliver that, because in a weird way, and I'm sure y'all experience this, in a weird way, that's what people are looking for, even though it's like, physically, right? Dino is not there, but when you guys on stage, it's almost like we're looking for all three of y'all, and so
most definitely.
yeah, but vocally, you can give us all three. And that's the beautiful part of what you guys are doing, man. What were you guys learning when you guys first got in the business? Like, you get signed, you're out now, knocking the boots is out. What would you say you guys were picking up, starting to learn about the business as you got, even though you guys were young in it?
Well, one thing I think we start to learn is that you got to, you got to start to manage your money better. Because sometimes you can, we realize, when it comes to doing shows or whatever you do, it go up and down. You know what I'm saying? To balance more of our, our finances and then to hire a great manager, have good lawyers and accountants and your taxes and stuff. A lot of times you get all that money and you don't really you got to make 100,000. You think, oh, it's all mine. Now realize you have, that's somebody go to the government and you need tax write-offs. So it's a lot of things like that we learn that, and then we also knowing that it's hard to trust a lot of people in the business, especially at that time when they're looking at you as a teenager. They already think you're dumb.
Gotcha.
It's just stuff like that. We have to start like, and then taking more charge. Like right now, like right now, the reason why we're doing so well because we took charge of our careers to, okay, now if we're overseeing this, because we ain't got to worry about, we're going to make sure that we're going to hire the right people, put them in place, but we're going to oversee to make sure that we, get our money. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Like I told you, this is like one of the first times of us ever seeing the most money that we ever seen because, we're more, into, okay, we're going to make sure we do this, we do that. So it's like, can't nobody, as long as we hire the right lawyers and keep the right accountants and we got, and everybody's, then we like, hey, we're able to live our lives and be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the main things we did. We had to watch, like, oh, okay, we need to make sure we got great accountants and managers and people that's going to work for H-Town and not against H-Town.
Gotcha.
And actually, I feel like it's 90% business and 10% talent. You know what I'm saying? So you really have to be on your business. And in reality, people say it's harder to get in, but in reality, it's harder to stay in because there's always somebody trying to keep you in the spot. You know what I'm saying?
I got you, man. I talked to you people when I was booking this. I said, listen, man, I ain't never seen H-Town live. And he said, oh, they coming in October in Atlanta. They're gonna be there October the 1st.
Most definitely October 1st.
Yeah. So I said, hey man, y'all, hey, I would love to see you guys, man, and then try to meet you face to face if I can, if time allows.
Come through.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'll make sure I get there.
They got you.
Okay.
Make that
I'll make.
make
Yeah.
that phone call. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he
And the
told me.
and the one thing that also that me and GI want to also do
Sure.
is let people know that we can still sing our songs. You know, a lot of times you lose a person as strong as Dino, you have to go hire a lead singer. And that's one thing that we was fortunate that we didn't have to do. We're still able to sing our songs and they sound
Yeah.
like it. You know what I'm saying? So, that's why, you know, it's not nothing new. Like I told you, me and my brother always sounded alike. But, you know, at that time, his voice was a little bit more, it was a little bit more on point more than mine. So I
Richard.
took a different route with my voice to give us a different sound. Because people said, where do you get the high notes from? I was like, well, I added the high notes to say, okay, let me do something that Dino can't do. I knew Dino couldn't hit high notes and
Gotcha.
falsetto did. So I said, I'm gonna take on the note to doing the high notes. And that actually gave us like, okay, it got so to the point people was like, man, when the high note coming in, like it got to that point, they like we'll do a record and the high note now, they like, well, man, I don't hear Shazam doing the high note, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, so, and then it's even with our backgrounds, it's a certain way the harmonies with our voices all blend together, especially with GIs. Like it's like when I lay backgrounds, it is not going to GI have to come in and add the icing on, like like you bake the cake, but you put the icing to make it sweet. And that's what GI
Yeah.
voices always do going to the group. Okay, I'm gonna go in there, ladies. The GI come in and add his part. Okay, man, it sound like H-TOWN. We got the
That's
harmony
amazing,
part.
man.
You
And
know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
the reason I'm marveling at y'all, man, because listen to you guys, right? It's the ingredients that makes up
Yeah,
H-Town. And like I stated before, you guys would never like, man, I'm gonna go off do my thing. It's like y'all understood that each person understood their value to the group,
Right.
and knew that
most definitely.
each person knew that they were valuable to the group. And so it wasn't like, I got to be out front all the time or whatever. You knew like, okay, I may sing my part, come in with my part, right? But I'm
Yeah.
co-writing or I'm co-producing this. So you guys knew each other's worth and like, hey, this is my brother. And I know you
Exactly.
guys know that a lot of groups don't understand that. And that's why a lot of groups break up, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've seen it happen a couple of times already.
And then we had a certain writing style. With us
Yeah.
writing together, we had a different writing style to where how our records came together. We was like, we had different, like we were blending our writing styles together to where everything would match. Like, okay, this makes sense. So it's like, okay, you can tell when all three of us got on the record and wrote a record together. You know what I'm saying? Just a certain sound that the record has create. You know what I'm saying? So most definitely, man. But the reason, but that's one of the main reasons why, man. We know Dino in and out. We've been around him. Like I always tell everybody, I had the best vocal coach in the game. And that's my brother Dino. You know what I'm saying? And what I try to do is I listen to him. But this may sound crazy, but what I
Mm-hmm.
do, I may listen to 1/3 of my brother's voice,
Mm-hmm.
and then because I don't because what I do, I try to still keep it Shazam because I feel
I
like
got you.
nobody can beat me being me.
Yeah.
So what I do is I listen. Okay, let me hear. Like I hear it and I'll study a little bit and I back off of it and I'll like let it sink in my soul, and I'll say now, okay, how would Shazam do this? Or if it's something I can't do, I would do it my way, but it still have the H-Town twang.
I
I
get
always
it.
have to use the word twang. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You still got the H-Town because even when I sing or when I talk, people like it's times I could be in the store and I start talking. See, man, you from H-Town. Huh? That's why you say that. Man, that voice, I can tell your voice. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
like I would always try to do things to where when I leave my voice, I would think, how would Dino do it? And how would Shazam do it? And I mix it together.
You mix the
So
two
that's why
together. Yeah.
I mixed the two together to where it's like, okay, I still hear H-Town, but I hear Shazam, and instead of this, it's like, okay, the H-Town sound and twang is still there. So that's why we able to, because a lot of people say that Man, y'all sound just like the record. If I close my eyes, I don't know
Now
what's up
see,
there.
and see
You know what I'm
that's the
saying?
difference, and that's the difference. Where I was telling some artists that I interviewed. I just can't think of the name right now, but that's what people still want is when they come to see you
Mm-hmm.
live, right? It's not even always the movement, even though, because we get older, we can't do it like we did when we
Yeah.
was in our 20s.
Yeah,
But vocally,
yeah,
as you
yeah.
mature vocally and you can still good, because listen, a lot of times you're not going to expect somebody to sound like they sound when they were 18, 19. Sometimes they
Mm-hmm.
can, but if you still can
Right.
sing and give a good, vocally a good show, because you and I, you guys know it's the vocal part. You don't want nobody saying, man, I went, man, them, well, they should
Yeah.
have let the record play. They just should have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
you know
that.
what? That's why it's very important that me and G.I. we hired a sound man. We have a sound man that
Mhm.
goes everywhere we go. And that's when we realized how important it was to have your personal
Oh
sound
man.
man. Because I'm not gonna lie, without my sound man, it'd be very difficult when I would, because when I would just not use my own personal sound man, it was like, so I said, I got to get my own sound man out here that could, make sure my vocals are on point and my EQs and stuff on my voice is
Yeah.
right to make sure I can better hit the notes. You know what
Well,
I'm
you can
saying?
hear
So,
yourself in the monitors as well,
yeah, you can
Yeah.
hear yourself. Yeah.
like you
Look at the
singing
mix.
and you looking at GI, he like, because it's not your sound. I went because my wife and I went to a concert here in Atlanta, and
Mm-hmm.
Lakeside was out first, and they were performing, but the sound wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes back to what
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
saying. If you have your own sound, man, you can make sure that that stuff is taken care of, whether you're
Yeah.
opening up or you're coming behind somebody. Either way, your sound man job is to make sure before you and GI take them mics,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, hey,
Right.
hey, y'all good. Go ahead and do your thing. So I
Yeah.
get it,
Yeah.
man. That's
Exactly.
smart too. And I'm sure you guys know
And,
a
and,
lot of people don't do that.
Yeah, and another thing, man, one thing that really I think really kept my voice and GI voice, we never really done no drugs. I mean, we drink a little bit, but the heavy drugs and the like people say I done crack and cocaine and snort all. I ain't never done none of that.
That'll
So
rob
I
you.
think that helped,
Yeah.
it robbed you. So um I drink a little bit. I mean casually drinking, but I think a lot of times we know what helped us so we stayed away from drugs, like heavy drugs, heroin and stuff like
I
that,
don't
and
do that.
crack. So
I
we
don't
stay
do
away from
that.
all that stuff.
That's
Because
that stuff's
I'm already
uncommon
a
rock.
tad bit crazy. I already tell myself I'm already a tad bit crazy. I did some drugs. I'm out of there. I can't do it without the drugs. You know what
Don't
I'm
make
saying?
GI go solo, man. Don't make GI go solo, man. Come on, man. I just got two more questions for you. Um,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everything you guys have been through, the ups, the downs, losing your brother, what kept you guys together? What kept you guys going?
I think the love for the music for one, and two, the fans most definitely
Mhm.
brought us back. Cause when MySpace and all that came out, I
Hmm.
jumped on I jumped on there, and the fans just started hitting that page like crazy, like over a million people in like 3 days. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they kind of brought us back. I went to Shazam, man. We gotta look at this. We gotta get back out here. They still waiting. You know?
And then I think one of the main things too, the fans, the appreciation. When
Yeah.
it's a beautiful thing when you see your fans still
Mm.
appreciate you and encourage you to continue to sing. And no, man, don't let it die like that. Just keep it going. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that motivated me and Gia to get back in the studio, start writing records again, and the fans really did like, no, man, don't let it die. And we start thinking, you know what, man, we can't let the legacy of H-Town die. We can't let Dino legacy die. The fans
Yeah.
still want to see us. And then, I vowed that I was not putting another person in my group. Or I couldn't, first of all, I couldn't stand to see nobody in Dino's spot. And I was like, well, I'm gonna pick up the slack right here. We're gonna keep it here, and I'm his brother. And like I told you, it's still organic because H Town we're singing our songs. Now versus like something like to go hire people to sing their
Right.
song. They can't sing their songs because they can't. You know what I'm saying? But with us, we're able to go out here and sing our songs, and we had enough connection and enough bond with our brother Dino to where we can still kind of take from him and keep it. He's still advising us to this day.
Sure.
He's still advising us, guiding
Gotcha.
us to say, this would be an H-Town record, do it like this, Shazam, or do it like that, even through just listening to him and just memories of my brother. Also keep
Yeah.
it guides me how to do this thing with H-Town. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying?
Gotcha. My last question for you is it's kind of a two-part question, but it's all in one, which is, can you encourage people and tell people how to go for their goals, try to achieve their goals, and how to push through adversity?
Well, I feel like this day and time, it's kind of easier than it was back then because now you got the internet, so you're reaching over 10 million people at one time. So I feel like you have to be consistent with your content. You have to be very creative, and you got to be very distinct. You got to have something that is missing, something that doesn't fit in the puzzle. You got to be a piece of the puzzle that don't fit. You just got to bring originality. You know what I'm saying? Something that is missing, something that is needed. You know, like I said, there's a lot of carbon copies out there. You don't want to be one of those carbon copies. You want to be you. You know what I'm saying? Your own
Gotcha.
man. Yeah. Go
And,
ahead,
and,
Shazam.
and I would just say, man, I mean, for me, I always kept God first. I always pray. I know a lot of times you talk about God, people believe in certain things and believe what they believe, but I always believed in Jesus Christ. I always
I'm
focus,
with you.
focus
I'm with you.
focus on Jesus Christ, and I always prayed up and asked God to help me. And it made people don't know, but a lot of the way I sing now, I prayed about it. I used to ask God to anoint my voice, make my voice, keep my voice strong, and I used to always say, pray, God, if I'm not sounding right, let it sound right to other people's ears.
I got you. I got you, bro.
Let it come out my mouth sounding right to everybody else. So, I always kept going first and praying about, my strength to help carry the group on for us when it come to lead vocals and stuff like that. And then I also would you gotta believe in yourself no matter what. People when my
Yeah.
brother passed, people left H-Town for dead. They say it's over for us. They'll never better do this. That they ain't gonna do it, what better do it without this. And then what me and G.I. kept going. We've been in the studio doing records, and people seem to show. And when I'm determined and believing in God, hey, that's what got us where we at right now. So now we're doing shows all over the world again, and people are still fanning out like they did back in 1993.
Man, I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm gonna reach out to you people because they told me they take care of me, man. So I just want
Most
to come
definitely.
see you guys on April the 1st, man. And I told them however we can
I'm,
set it up because I don't know
it's,
as far as your time to try to meet you face to
I,
face.
I, it's October the 1st. October
October
the
the
1st.
1st. I mean October the 1st. What
Yeah.
did I say? What did I say?
April the
April the
first.
1st.
Oh no. October the 1st. Thank you, G. I appreciate that, man.
April the fifth pass.
Okay.
He went back in time. April the
I'm
pass.
promoting. Hey, I'm promoting 2023. Yeah, you gonna have
2023.
people looking at this talking about, man, I thought they were coming in April, man. No,
Mhm.
October the 1st. State Farm, right? State Farm. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
state. Yeah,
And then,
State
and then
Farm.
also let everybody know we have a new album out. It's called Date Night. We have a new album out right now too. So
Date
it's
night.
called Date
Let us
Night.
know. Let us know. Let us know where they can still get the H-Town music from, and where they can follow you guys on social media.
Yeah, everything is on iTunes, Amazon, and
Yeah.
all those places. They can go on Spotify, and but we have a new album out right now, Date Night. They actually been charting all over the world on iTunes. We're #1 in some countries.
Okay.
It's more of an independent project. You know what I'm saying?
You
But
keep your money.
it's like, man,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
great, man. It's really good. And then you can reach us. You can reach me personally on Instagram at Shazam of H-Town. And then G, I
Yeah.
got the
And
records.
well, you can reach the group. The group page is H Town for Life at H Town #4 Life,
Okay.
and it also connects you to our personal pages on in the bio. So everything is there. And the website is
Okay.
www.htown4ever.com. That's the website.
All right. And
Yeah.
I will be seeing you guys when you hit the ATL, man. And so
Most definitely.
Sure.
Shazam, like I told you, I'm country boy too. So hey, and let me say this. I always tell everybody, if you want to win, you got to go dog skin. So it's all good. And the shot, my boy Gi.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And the shot,
yeah,
Gi.
yeah.
I got you, boy. I got you,
yeah.
man. I got you. I got you.
Appreciate you,
yeah.
appreciate you,
I
appreciate you.
appreciate you guys coming on the show and blessing us
Much
with your
love.
presence. Stay safe and stay blessed, man. I see you when you get to the ATL.
Most
Peace.
definitely.
Peace.